It's very hard to understand what the future of the world might be like when it comes to the integration of religions and societies. On one hand, from the bottom, trying to understand all sorts of people and putting a large focus on the big world religions, and perhaps the bigger, the more focus they get in the kind of study that I do, simply to see how it changes my view of the world and my experience of the world by being less disconnected from large groups of people. Because if you don't know anything about a cultural background, yes, there are patterns of personality that are universal, and they really do seem to be. Culture definitely affects the way that everything works, just as much as personality does. Um, and it's hard to imagine what things will be like. So, on one hand, I very much fear a new world order, new world order. Mostly because I can't understand what they would be like. But in the same sense, I have a sort of a new world order growing in my own mind by having understanding of various traditions and seeing how they link together. And the links that I find are links that are made in my own mind. So when I go into these new territories of spaces between religions, the ways that they could be mixed and integrated with each other, they do start in the mind of people who are interested in such things. So, like religious innovators like Guru Nanak of Sikhism, who was, I don't want to say that Sikhism is half Hindu and half Muslim. It's not necessarily true, but in its style, it is sort of half Hindu and half Muslim, and Guru Nanak was familiar with both of them. He was the first guru of Sikhism. There are movements, or there were movements in America of cultural tolerance, and it's still like a left wing idea, or maybe closer to the center left, of tolerating other cultures. I think the far left is really into identity politics, things that I think have detached from reality. Or maybe they're accurately describing the new reality that we have and nobody else knows it yet, or what is even the difference between those two things. I guess the American ideal of the melting pot is what I'm talking about when it comes to the integration of world religions. It's not tolerance; it's actually understanding. Tolerance first, but understanding soon afterward. And this is happening with internet, and the internet with net neutrality laws is going to change the way it works, but people are used to having access to a lot of information. I'm not nearly as connected to technology as people younger than I am are, but I'm still heavily connected, and I've been going online in a way that is like an addiction since I was 11 or something like that. Anyway, so ideas are being spread very fast, and so there's like a lot of wisdom from all traditions, and then there's some kinds of movement that it's maybe more atheistic, where you want to throw all that away like it's old trash, which I really don't see the point of doing that. We have wisdom traditions from everywhere on earth, and they all have something different to offer. Some of them are theistic, and to throw them away is just It's very unwise. Um, yeah, but at the same time, the world is also being connected by the World Bank and the IMF and very large financial structures that they don't necessarily control the world's money, but they do influence it to a great extent and in a way that more people are starting to understand now. But mostly, for the most part, we have no idea how this works, um, and how money works, and how the IMF and the World Bank create a financial new world order, and that's existed for years, and it exists to help the world get past struggles when it comes to one country or another going bankrupt. But how can a country go bankrupt unless it's in debt to someone else? And how can a country be in debt to someone else unless we're talking about power exchanges and a system that standardizes all other systems, all other countries' systems? There's already that structure built for a world government, starting with a financial structure. And on a world religion level, and a lot of religions point to this, is false prophets and ways that religiously, spiritually, the world could go to hell. And so I'm very wary of that false world religions, like a one world religion that's not actually an integration of the wisdom traditions. It just looks like it, and it's sort of sold as a product, and there's some kind of like miracles that go along with it that are cheap and fake and like magic of technology. I'm very wary of something like that happening because, and especially at this point, we don't even know how our technology works because of machine learning. Programmers don't even necessarily program anymore. They just supervise the growth of intelligence, artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence is making itself. There's just almost like in Jurassic Park, the scientists in the labs were making sure that the dinosaur eggs hatch all right. That's kind of what programmers are doing with AI now. We're looking over the hatchlings and making sure they hatch. Why are we making sure this hatches? Because that's the road we're going down, and there are John Hammonds in the world who want to play that kind of game, and a lot of people want to see that game being played because the world is run like a big TV show now, and it will continue to be. And so exciting things are to come. They might not necessarily be good, but they're coming.